Are you thinking about becoming a real estate agent in the state of Florida, but just don't know where to start? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you a complete step-by-step guide on how to get licensed and start your real estate career. My name is Chris. I've been a licensed real estate agent for over the past 10 years, and I've helped hundreds of people get started with their career and get licensed. So in this video, my goal is to show you everything that you need to do in order to jumpstart your real estate career and get your real estate license. Before we dive into the video, make sure to grab our copy of our real estate license starter kit. Everything in this video plus a lot more is inside that guide, so click the link down below. It's completely free and I think you'll really enjoy it. Also, down in the description, you're going to find an affiliate link to my favorite real estate school. And the reason I like these classes is that they're flexible, they're affordable, and they're online. So if you want to check them out with our affiliate link, you're going to be able to access special discounts and sales on these classes. So make sure to check that out as well. So the very first step I want to talk to you about is just meeting some of the basic requirements in order to even consider starting this process. The very first thing is you must be 18 years old or older. You must have a high school diploma or its equivalent. And you must be a US citizen or legal resident with a social security number. Step number 2 of this process is completing your real estate pre-license education. Now, in Florida, you're required to complete 63 hours of state-approved pre-licensed education classes. Now, the key to it is you must find classes that are state-approved. If you just take any classes that are about real estate, they're not going to count towards this process. They're a very specific set of classes that you need to count towards your pre-license. Now, the good news is with these 63 hours, you can do them in person or online, depending on what you're comfortable with. There's also a middle option, which is a live stream class option that you can choose from as well. Now, the school that I recommend has all 3 options, and you can find that down in the description below if you want to check them out. They are state approved and it's easy to use. Now, once you complete your pre-licensed education classes, it's time to move on to step number 3, which is passing the real estate exam. In the state of Florida, you're going to schedule this exam through Pearson VUE. You're required to schedule at least 24 hours in advance, and when you show up on test day, you're going to want to bring a couple basic things. The first thing is a basic non-scientific calculator for the math portion of the exam. Make sure to bring that because going through that part of the exam without a calculator can be a little tricky and difficult. And if you bring a complex calculator, they're not going to let you use it for the exam. Now, you also want to bring 2 forms of basic identification. This can be a US passport, your driver's license, debit cards, credit cards, but you do need 2 forms of identification. Once you get into the testing center, you're going to be met with about 100 questions for the exam. And you must pass this exam with a 75% score or higher to be considered a passing grade so you can get licensed. Now, you might be wondering, how is the exam set up? Well, it's all multiple choice, which is the good thing. But there is one thing I want to let you know about, which is make sure you read each question multiple times. Because if you don't do that, then you're going to be in a situation where you might answer something wrong that you really knew the answer to. So make sure not to rush through this exam because you have plenty of time to finish. There's only 100 questions and it's split between 2 different tests. You have a state portion of the exam specific to Florida, and then you have the national portion of the exam that's more of a general exam. So make sure to take your time, read each question over and over again before you actually submit your answer. And then once you're confident that you've taken the time to really fully digest the question that's being asked, then submit your answer and move on to the next one. Now, once you get done with your exam, you're gonna know right away if you passed or you failed. Now, if you failed the exam, it's not a big deal. Don't quit on this process. There are so many people that fail the exam and then just entirely quit on the process altogether because they think they're not gonna be good at real estate and they just get really discouraged. But I can tell you firsthand, I know so many real estate agents that failed the exam multiple times that turned out to be rock stars and build awesome careers and awesome businesses in real estate. So don't let that discourage you and don't quit on this process because you might be great at this and you might just not be a great test taker, or you might need to just study a little bit more. It's not a big deal. Just try again, study harder, and don't quit on this process. Now, if you pass the exam, it's definitely time to celebrate because it's important to acknowledge this milestone. You've put a lot of work up until this point and you just accomplished something really cool. You passed your real estate exam and you only have a couple steps left until you're actually licensed and you're out in the field practicing real estate. How awesome is that? So let's move on to those steps now. Step number 4 is your background check and fingerprinting. In the state of Florida, you want to schedule this with a live scan provider approved by the state of Florida. On average, this is going to cost you between $50 and $80. Once you get your background check and fingerprinting done, it's time time to move on to step number 5, which is completing your real estate license application. In order to do this, what you want to do is you want to package all the things you've done up until this point up into your application. So you're going to take your proof that you completed your 63 hours of state-approved pre-license education. You're going to take your real estate exam passing score of 75% or higher. You want to get that. And then you also want to get your past background check and fingerprinting, package it all together and send it out with your application. And the good news is you can submit this all online through the Florida Department of Business Regulations. Just go on their website and start the process. Now, after you do that, it's time to move on to step number 6, which is finding your sponsoring broker. In the state of Florida, once you get your real estate license, you need to find a sponsoring broker to sponsor you so you can hang your license there. Think about it this way. This is going to be your very first real estate mentor. So I'm going to give you a series of questions to ask up front so that you pick the right brokerage and set yourself up for success. There are so many people that get into this industry, get their license, and then just end up at the wrong brokerage and they don't get the support that they need for the kind of business that they want to build. So here's a couple questions to ask when you're interviewing for your first sponsoring broker. The first question to ask is, what kind of mentorship and training do you provide? If I join your brokerage, do I get a one-on-one mentor that I can call at any time? Or do I just get a couple classes here and there? What's the structure look like for brand new agents? The next question to ask is, how are you going to train me to market my business and get my first clients? One of the biggest holdbacks for real estate agents is that they get licensed and then they just can't figure out how to get clients on a regular basis. So you want to ask your sponsoring broker how they're going to teach you how to do that, and you want to make sure it's in alignment with the way that you want to grow your own business. Now, if you want extra things like real estate leads and things like that, you can also ask the question if they have any real estate teams at their brokerage that provides that kind of thing. And you can apply for those real estate teams if they do, which can be a really great option if you're looking to jumpstart your career and you don't have a huge budget to invest in leads and all the marketing things that you may need to get your business off the ground. And last but not least, you want to ask about the commission splits and the monthly fee structure. So what I would do first and foremost is I would ask if there's any monthly fee to be a part of the brokerage. Some brokerages charge up to a couple $100s per month just to be a part of their brokerage. And that's no matter if deals are coming in or they're not. So as a new agent, I would be very careful about joining brokerages that have a monthly fee. Another question to ask is, what commission split am I going to be on as a new agent? Now, I don't want you to hyper focus on this because it's definitely not something you should be putting your time into, but it's a conversation you need to have. At the end of the day, you want to go to a brokerage that's going to give you a fair split and a competitive split, but I don't want you to hyper focus on it so much where you avoid brokerages that have lower splits but have a ton more support. Because at the end of the day, 100% of nothing is still nothing. So we want to make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance of success. And even if you have a lower commission split, you must realize that this career has a pretty high failure rate, and paying for support when you're brand new can be a really good thing. So don't be afraid of lower commission splits, but make sure that you're getting what you pay for. If you're getting a lot of hands-on support, a lot of mentorship, and a lot of value, then a low commission split's okay. But if you're getting a low split and you're getting nothing for it, that's when it becomes a problem. Now that we got through those steps, I want to cover some of the most common questions that I get about getting your real estate license in the state of Florida. The very first thing is, how much does it cost on average to get licensed in Florida? Well, I would budget anywhere between $700 and $1,000 to get your Florida real estate license. The second most common question I get is, how long does it take to actually get my license? Well, in Florida, you're required to complete the 63 hours. This can be done pretty quickly if you're aggressive. If you take your time and you do a more self-paced route, then it's going to take longer. It really depends how aggressive you are with getting this process done. But I would estimate anywhere between 7 and 10 weeks you can get through this entire process. Another question I get is the Florida real estate exam hard? Well, it can be hard. A lot of people fail the real estate exam and it's something that people have a challenge with. But the truth is, if you take the time and you study hard and you use all the test tools available, you don't have to fail the exam. One of the most important things to do is get a real estate study tool. And one of the tools that I love personally is CompuCram. The reason I like it is they set you up through tests like simulations, and you can practice taking the exam and it will pinpoint exactly where you're struggling, where you need to double down and focus on. And the reason it's so powerful is because you get put through these tests like simulations that kind of mimic what the actual real estate exam is like. So you get a chance to practice before you even get out there and play the game, which is really Awesome. So if you want to check that out, there is an affiliate link down below to that tool. Now, the last question that I get a lot is, can I practice real estate part-time? And the answer to that is absolutely. I've seen so many agents start out part-time. They keep their 9-to-5 job just for their stable income, and then they build their business on the side. In fact, I have an entire video on this channel all about starting your career as a part-time agent. And I've seen many people do it. And eventually, some people love the business so much and they love the career so much that they transition to full-time and they leave their 9-to-5 job. So it's entirely possible. And one of the things I love about real estate in this career is that it is flexible and you can kind of build your business the way you want to build it. So you can absolutely start out as a part-time agent. If this video was helpful, make sure to smash the like button, drop a comment in the comment section below if you enjoyed the video or you have questions that I didn't answer in this video. I'll get back to you right away. Also, make sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be coming out with useful content you can use to get licensed and jumpstart your real estate career. I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.